Assalamu alaikum and welcome to week 9 or episode 9 of the If I Were You show. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Fatimah J. I am a financial coach and the founder of Finance Girly, where I help Muslim women just like you take control of their money to build a financial future that they're proud of. I'm excited to be here. Today is the 20th of June. Tomorrow is when we're going to launch the Master Your Money course. I've been working on this course for a very long time. I'm very excited to share it with the world. It answers the questions that I get asked most frequently in a very practical, no, zero jargon, straightforward way. The goal is that at the end of the course, every single person that has taken it will be able to understand how to manage their money on a monthly basis, building a system around their money to reach their goals. They'll understand how to pay off debt if they're in debt, how credit scores work, and the like. They would also understand halal investing. That is actually a 2 lesson module. And there's a bonus module for retirement accounts. So I'm very excited. There are lots of tools and resources connected there. And it's going live tomorrow, inshallah. If you sign up now, you can get access to the early bird discount, which will be 30% off for the first 3 days. So go to financegirly.com. That's girly with an IE /course. This show is a weekly show wherein people send in their questions, or I search questions through the net, or refer to questions that are frequently asked, or I generate questions around real money problems. It's called If I Were You because the perspective I take in answering these questions is based on what I would do as a financial coach if I were in that person's shoes. So it's just your homegirl chatting to you, honest, real, and compassionate conversation. So the first question is, my job offers a sabbatical after 5 years. Should I take it to rest or stay and push for a promotion? What should you do? I have so many questions. Where are you in your career? Are you in the first 5 years of your career? Are you more established? I'm assuming, if you're saying 5 years, after 5 years, so you're not just fresh out of college. I'm thinking about this question. There's so many factors. I don't have any context, so it's hard to answer. It's very hard. Do you have kids? Do you have a family? What are your goals? Where are you financially? If you have debt and you're struggling to make it by every single month, then this is not the time to be resting. Really, it's a season of sacrifice, a season of hard work. So that's off the table. But if it's not and you're very comfortable, then it won't hurt to take a break, especially if you want to focus on family, if you have other things that you want to try out, you want to travel the world, you want to, whatever it is, you want to try a side project, you want to start a business, whatever it is, check that out. So it's a difficult question to answer, but that's what I would say. If you're in a financial situation where you can take the break, you don't need to double down on anything to reach your financial goals, and you appreciate a break, then take a break. If not, then just keep working. It's not time to rest just yet. That's the first one. Okay, we started off not too easy, but let's go on to the next one and see. Oh, I'm saving for a wedding, but I don't know how to talk to my fiance about splitting costs. What's a healthier way to approach this conversation? Now, where I'm from, wedding expenses are approached differently. And I believe the bride, for the things that the bride does, most of those expenses come from her and her family. But the groom also chips some in, as in they get some money and they fund some of that wedding. So some of those expenses for the wedding. This is just the basic things, not anything extra or the additional events that people do, as far as I know. So I'm not sure what culture you're from, but based on the question, it sounds like you are perhaps the default person to take these expenses, or at least your side of the family is. Have this conversation. I mean, don't avoid talking about money, because this is just premarital things. So if you're committing your life to this person, then a lot more conversations about money are going to be coming up. So this is the time. This is a great opportunity to talk about money and see where their mind is when it comes to spending money. A very easy way to start this off would be to ask, how would you like for us to celebrate this wedding, and what would that look like financially? So something just more casual. It's a little lighter, getting into the conversation about money. Not like here's the cost of the venue, you owe me 50% of it. No, that's not how I would go into it. It's more of, hey, how would you like for us to spend our wedding, to celebrate our wedding? What would that look like financially? What are your ideas of how we're going to approach this, and go on from there? So that's what I would say with that. Next question is, I want to switch careers, but the new field might mean a pay cut. How do I know if it's worth it? The first thing I would do is to actually verify if it has to mean a pay cut. So verify that that's actually a fact and not a possibility. Next, let's say it is a fact. You are jumping from being a CEO of a company to doing something social services. This is why taking control of your money is important, because you can afford those decisions. On paper, it might not make sense to all because you are going from 200K to 70K. But when you build a financial foundation that can afford to take these pay cuts, that's what real freedom is, because you have options and you have choices. And at that point, you're chasing whatever it is. You're chasing a passion, you're chasing a calling, whatever it might be. I'm using that term very loosely. But that's what taking control of your financial future allows you to do. You have options. It's worth it if you can still live your life with peace, with financial control, and you're not just surviving but thriving, and you can do it on this new income that you have. Next question is, I get overwhelmed just looking at my credit card app. How do I break the avoidance cycle? This is very common. It's common for people to not face their finances. And not just their finances, but things that they're scared they're not doing well in. The first thing I want you to know is to acknowledge that this is avoidance, which you've already done. But if you haven't, for anyone listening, acknowledge that you're avoiding this and understand the cost of avoiding, because what you don't face, you cannot resolve. If you don't know, and if you don't face your health challenges, you cannot resolve your health challenges. If you don't face your financial struggles, you cannot resolve your financial struggles. And this applies to a lot of different things in life. But the more you avoid reality, the harder it gets to fix that reality. So really understand that by me ignoring and avoiding my bank statements, my apps to see how much I have in my credit report, the debt that I have, by me avoiding the thing about investing, avoiding all of these things, it's not just I'm not doing them, but there's an opportunity cost. The likelihood that you're digging yourself in a deeper hole is very high. And the possibility of what you're missing out, what you could have been making if you were taking control of your financial picture, is going to cost you a lot in the years. I always use the example of investing. You're missing out time in the market. Anyone that knows something about investing will tell you the most important factor when it comes to investing is time. So you avoiding your debt, you avoiding your credit card app, you avoiding your credit report, you avoiding your student loans, avoiding your all of these things that it comes to money, it's costing you. And I believe, I don't have any scientific evidence off the top of my head to support this, but anecdotally, I believe the anxiety that you get from not knowing what's going on is worse than the pain and the discomfort you would feel if you knew what was going on. Because the first one, you don't have any facts. There's nothing guiding the level of anxiety. There's nothing to manage it because it's based off of ignorance. Whereas the second one, you can manage the anxiety. And the anxiety is coming, and the fear and the doubt and the uncertainty and the discomfort is coming from facts. You know you're in a bad situation versus you know you're in a bad situation, but you don't know how bad it is. Am I $50,000 bad, or am I $250,000 bad? You don't know any of those. So your anxiety is there's nothing to even gauge, attempt to control it or to base it on reality. Understand the cost of avoiding your financial situation. The next question says, I want to give my parents money regularly, but they refuse to take it. How do I show love and support when I can't contribute financially in the way I want? May Allah bless our parents and grant them Jannatul Firdaus for those who have passed away, and those who are still alive as well. May Allah bless them and honor them, and also grant them Jannatul Firdaus. I mean, you know what your parents appreciate the most. And if they are refusing to take money from you, then I'm sure there are many other ways that are perhaps more valuable in their eyes for you to benefit them. And I would say explore those. What are those? Maybe your parents, they value time. Maybe your parents, they value acts of service. Maybe your parents just value you checking on them. Maybe your parents value you doing things for them. Maybe they value gifts. Look at the other ways, the plethora of ways that you can serve them, that they enjoy. Maybe your parents enjoy going for a walk. Whatever it might be, you know your parents best. But don't fixate on helping them financially if A, they're refusing, and B, you're not able to. Explore the other ways that are fulfilling to them. I think especially for mothers, they value just the phone call sometimes. Just the phone call. Just you checking on them. Just you reaching out. Just you visiting them. Just you being in their presence. And may Allah allow us all to be better with our parents. Wallahi, there's so much that we could do. Myself, speaking to myself first and foremost here, in order to honor our parents as they deserve to be honored. The next question says, my friends always choose expensive restaurants and outings. How do I set boundaries without being the cheap one? Okay. So if you're asking this question, I'm assuming that you're not able to afford the outings that they're doing. But if they're really close friends of yours and they're real friends, be honest with them. Just say, hey, you know, this top tier restaurant you guys want to go, always want to explore and all of these stuff. Like, I'm just not in a place where that can be a regular outing for me, or that can be an outing at all for me. Like, I don't want to go there. Can we try something else? If they're real friends, I don't see why they would have a problem with that. It doesn't even make sense. So they'll be accommodating. It doesn't mean that you're going to be part of every single outing. So you need to be okay with that as well. But, you know, is it the friendship you're enjoying, or is it the restaurant that you're enjoying? And maybe sometimes it's both, but there are many other ways to enjoy your friend's company without spending way too much money, especially when you're in a season where you can't afford it. So that's what I would say. Be honest with them and explore other options. Give them other options. Don't just wait for them to give you options. You're the one that's experiencing an inconvenience because of your choices. So give them alternatives. And may Allah allow you to be in a place wherein you can also partake in this. And when you said setting boundaries, it's something I just thought about is, I heard this statement. I can't remember who I heard it from, but they said that boundaries require nothing from the other person. Listen to this carefully. Boundaries require nothing from the other person. So in this scenario, say your friends say, hey, you know what, you're cheapskate. We're still going out to these expensive outings and you cannot afford it. What a boundary for you, what setting a boundary looks like on your end is saying, okay, well, I cannot afford an outing above $50. If you guys are going to go to somewhere that's $50, then I am not going to join you. That's the boundary. And pay attention here. You're the one not joining. It's not to say If this outing is about $50 and you guys have to do X, no, nothing's required of your friends. A boundary requires nothing from the other person. It's all you doing the action. Next one says, I've been asked to be a bridesmaid in 3 weddings this summer. I love my friends, but I'm low-key drowning financially. It is wedding season and I love it. I am here for it. 3 weddings. A bridesmaid in 3 weddings. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I don't care how minimalist the bride is or how minimalistic they're trying to keep the wedding. But this 3 weddings this summer, your bridesmaid, not just a regular guest, that's a lot of money, girlfriend. That is a lot of money. Okay. So you're drowning financially. Whew. Okay, I'm just gonna have to think about this because it's a lot to consider here. I always start with conversation because conversation is the cornerstone of any successful relationship. Look at your friends, 3 of them. See what it's going to cost to go to the 3 weddings. What's being asked of you. And if you can't do any of them, then just say to your friend, hey, like I cannot afford this right now. I cannot afford the outfit. I cannot afford, because there's so much that goes into being a bridesmaid. There's the outfit, there's the makeup, inshallah, it's in a, halal environment, but there are all of these other things. And then you have the accessories and all of these things. And there's just so much that goes into being a bridesmaid. So if just be honest with them, communicate that, tell them what's going on. And I genuinely believe true friends, you guys have been friends for longer, for a very long time, for them to just, for example, cut you off just because you couldn't be their bridesmaid. Like, come on. Especially, it's not that you just don't want to. It's that the situation is not feasible for you. So I'd struggle to see how a good friend will cut you off just because you cannot make that, especially when it's not a good time for you. So I would be honest with them. See what's required of you. Communicate what you can and cannot do. Hopefully there's a nice compromise there that even if you cannot afford the bridesmaid outfit and all the things that come with that, you can still go to the wedding as a guest wearing something else. Or you could still, maybe the bride can help you out. I mean, that would not be an option. That would not be my go-to because, she's the bride and there's a lot going on with her. So that's not something I'll put in my mind. But you never know. I believe conversations are going to bring about a lot of clarity. It's going to help your relationship. It's going to also bring transparency, hopefully remove all resentment. But communicate effectively, be honest and transparent, and hopefully your friendship passed the test of rejecting a bridesmaid invitation. So that's what I would say. And this is not even covering like travel expenses. Like if the wedding is somewhere else, the travel expenses. And if you're from my culture, we give out money when people are getting married. So there's all of those things that make going to weddings, let alone being a bridesmaid, very, very, very expensive. Power to you, girl. I hope the weddings go well and that they're successful. It's wedding season for sure. So pay attention to your wallets. Next question says, I wanted to use this summer to side hustle, but I'm exhausted. Do I really need to monetize every season of life? If you don't need to side hustle and you don't want to side hustle, then don't worry about side hustling. Close the Instagram app, get off TikTok, stop comparing yourself to others. It's that simple. But if you are in a season where you do need to side hustle because you need to make those financial sacrifices, then the exhaustion is part of it. The exhaustion is part of it. It's part of the journey. So set some little targets ahead of you, one after the next, little things that you can celebrate, milestones, and just keep chugging along. The end is near, inshallah. Seek the help of Allah, make lots of dua, and also try to see ways wherein you can work a little bit smarter, not harder. So keep working hard, but as you're doing that, be getting creative about how you can work a little bit smarter so you're not as exhausted. I'm wishing you all the best. Oh, okay. My side hustle is going well, but it's starting to affect my full-time job. How do I know when to scale back or go all in? If the side hustle is what you're really looking to pursue, as a long-term career, then your side hustle and your job being neck and neck is a sign for you to flip over if all other things are equal. So that's the first thing. But if your side hustle was just seasonal, it's just something you enjoy doing, then I would suggest, if I were you, I would do this. I would scale back a little bit just so I'm not taking away from my full-time job, because that's a commitment. I've said to these people, I'm going to work 9 to 5. So the expectation is that I work 9 to 5, inshallah. So if your side hustle is your career path that you're trying to go on, then this is a sign perhaps that you should jump over. But if it's just something that you like doing for fun, then keep it as that and don't allow it, just because you're making money from it, to take over other commitments that you have made. I want to travel this summer, but I'm also trying to build my savings. How do I make peace with spending on joy? The first thing I would say is, if you're building an emergency fund, then your vacation needs to wait. Yeah, because an emergency fund is a need. You need an emergency fund. If you're saving for something else, like a car that you don't really need, but it would be nice to upgrade, or I don't know, a wedding, something else, then that's a different conversation. But if you don't have an emergency fund, then your vacation needs to be on pause. Maybe you'll go next summer, inshallah. But if you are saving for other things, you already have your emergency fund, and you want to travel, then you have to ask yourself, what is more of a priority? It's what I'm saving for a priority right now. Do I have to do it by July or October? Or can I push it until December and also go on vacation this summer? So ask yourself, try to balance out those two, put one above the other in terms of prioritizing, and then act accordingly. So prioritize one of those and act accordingly. But definitely don't be going on vacation when you don't have an internship, girl. I don't know where that came from. When you don't have an emergency fund. What's a good goal to have in savings before I start investing? Ideally, you would have like 3 months saved. Ideally, you'd have 3 months saved, but it doesn't need to be that. You could have 2 months saved. But the idea is that you have something for a rainy day. Because when you invest and you don't have anything in savings, when an emergency comes up, your money is all tied in investments. And you pulling money out of that investment is you going back, because now you have to pay taxes on it. And you might have to start paying taxes on it. And something else might come up that would really push you back. So don't invest if you're not ready for it. Have something in savings, but it also does not have to be like a 6 or 12-month emergency fund. So next question is, I'm freelancing right now, so my income changes every month. How do I create a budget that actually works when things are unpredictable? There are a few ways to tackle this. Number one is that you create a budget based on the bare minimum that you're going to receive, that you expect to receive. So if your income varies between $2,000 to $4,000, create a budget based on the $2,000, because that's the minimum that you'd ever receive. And when you earn more than your $2,000, then you start to adjust your budget accordingly. That's the first method. The second method is to create a budget based on the average. So between 2,000 and 3,000, but on average you earn 2,000 and 4,000. On average you earn 3,000. Create a budget based on the 3,000. Now, July is here. Let's say July comes around, you end up earning 3,000. Great, that's what you plan for. August comes around, you earn 4,000. Amazing. That's not time to spend that additional 1,000. Put that 1,000 to what I call an LMF, low month fund. This fund is there to supplement your income in the months where you make less than your average. So September comes around, you earn 2,000. You have the additional 1,000 from August to supplement your income and keep going. Those are the two ways to tackle irregular income. We're going to end with this question. Is it better to take a lower paying job now or wait for the right one? Take a lower paying job. Work. Make some money. If that's something that you want to do. If you don't want to work, then you do you. But if you're thinking about working, then take a lower paying job now until you find something that actually fits your needs or your dreams, if that's what you're looking for. But that's what I would say. Simple. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here today. Thank you guys for joining. Next week, inshallah, I'm actually super excited for the session that we have. I have Halal Investing Mom coming over. She's going to talk about how to teach children about managing money. You don't want to miss this, whether you're a parent or not, or if you hope to have kids in the future. You don't want to miss this out, inshallah. Tune in. We're going to be here at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 9:15 p.m. GMT. So tune in for that. Again, the course is going to be live tomorrow, inshallah. So sign up today at financegirly.com/IE. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll catch you next week. Assalamu alaikum.